Hello, everyone. So recently, what's been trending is how women are being catcalled by men and harassed by men, and etc. And how this is bullshit and it needs to stop. So I wanted to just voice my opinions about it, share some of my experiences. When I moved to New York City and men started hitting on me or would like catcall me, I didn't know what to do about it. And so my natural reaction has been to put earbuds in my ears and listen to music and when I walk on the street and not to leave my apartment without them. And every day on the streets, if like it's changing between song or if I have my music low, or the random day that I don't have my earbuds in at all, I hear things like, hey, beautiful, and other things that aren't that bad, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to be insulted by a guy being like, hey, beautiful, etc. And for me personally, it's like I see the point. You know what I mean? I see the point of being objectified and of being itemized, and yes, that's terrible. But if I had to compare hey beautiful versus let me stick it in your butt, and then which one do you think I would choose? You know what I mean? I mean, sure, I would rather choose silence, but hearing from a random person, especially if it's genuine, hey beautiful, or you're looking fabulous today or something, and then that's not the worst thing that can happen to you. Now, there has been a few times where I felt threatened by males in public. Like, for example, I was walking around 60 something street. I was walking past a construction zone while I was walking to my agency, and one of the men that was working called out after me, something hitting on me, like, oh, let me get your number, or what's your name, beautiful, or come here and let me holler at you, or something, I don't know, to that extent. And I paid him no mind, and his friend said, hey, bitch, he's talking to you. It's rude to not come over and talk to him. How about I come over there with a wrench and beat it in your pretty face to show you what you're supposed to do when a man's talking to you? And I was just stunned, and I stopped on the streets and I just stared back at him, raised an eyebrow, and left. And normally, if a man would have said something abrasive or intrusive or insulting to me, I would have been like, fuck off, fuck you, and I would have stood my ground, and I would have talked him up and down. I mean, I feel like a total dick about himself, but this guy was obviously beyond saving that area, and it made me scared. And it's hard, because what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Except for get away as fast as you can. And to encounter that in everyday life out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like, that could happen again. I don't live in fear of it, but it could. And that's sad. That's sad that that happened. And that fucking a crew of people didn't stop and stare at that man and stare at the atrocities coming out of his mouth. It was normal. You know? I think that's what's wrong with everything. The fact that it's normal. And the fact that we as people just ignore it and just expect it as part of life. Expect this trashy male population that does exist out there amongst the many, many normal men, I'm sure, are allowed to be this way. Like, isn't that verbal harassment? Shouldn't I be able to call a police officer and say, hey, I feel that my life is threatened by this ignorant, pompous fool? Most women do not have the muscular strength you do. Most women don't have the stature that you have. Most women can't intimidate you like you can intimidate us. And though we seem strong, you can scare us by threatening us. What do you think that does? That makes us cry. That makes us freak out. That makes us have social anxiety. That makes us scared to leave our apartments. Why? Because some fucking dick on the street threatened you with a wrench? It's wrong. It's wrong. And you should feel guilty if you've done shit like that. And I applaud every single woman that has dealt with that and just fucking washed it off her shoulders and been like, whatever, fuck you. Because I am strong, I am beautiful, and I can take care of myself. I'm in full support of this movement to sort of correct the social behavior of our world. And as many women as we can get working on it, and men, the better.